Hi, everyone, and welcome to Who Threw the Curve, and this is a Robert Ruiz rant. And today, we're going to be speaking on the perils of perfect people, avoiding those who see no wrong in themselves, but every wrong in you. The perfect person, you know the type, someone who believes they're the epitome of righteousness, incapable of error, and somehow always manages to point out every minuscule flaw in you. Interacting with these paragons of perfection is like attending a never-ending critique, where you're the subject and they're the self-appointed judge. Let's dive into the hazards of such relationships with a good dose of sarcasm and humor. Let's speak on the Hall of Mirrors. Imagine living in a house of mirrors where every reflection is slightly distorted, except for the one you see. Now, let's take that metaphor and apply it to self-righteous individuals. These are the folks who gaze into their personal mirrors and see flawless beings, incapable of wrong. Meanwhile, they walk around with a magnifying glass, ready to highlight every blemish and imperfection they spot in others. Their self-assessment is always glowing. I'm just a naturally good person, they muse. Yet, their evaluation of you, let's just say, is less than flattering. If you dared to breathe too loudly, they'd probably write a dissertation on your inconsiderateness and insensitivity to their delicate eardrums. Let's speak on the fault-finding mission. The perfect person's favorite pastime, pointing out your flaws. They've turned it into an art form, a sport, a full-time job. They're like Sherlock Holmes, but instead of solving crimes, they're solving the mystery of why you're such a disappointment. Their magnifying glass never misses a thing. Did you forget to say thank you once? You're a symbol of ingratitude. Did you arrive 5 minutes late? Clearly, you have no respect for their time or your own. It's as if they've taken a master class in nitpicking, graduating with honors. The irony of the course is that their obsession with your faults blinds them to their own. You could be building an orphanage in your spare time, but they'll harp on the fact that you didn't use a coaster under your drink. Let's speak on the emotional drain. Being around these paragons of perfection is emotionally draining. Their constant critique and inability to acknowledge their own faults are like a slow drip of negativity. It's one-sided affair where you're perpetually on trial, and they are the prosecutor, judge, and jury. Picture this. You've just had a long day at work and you're looking for a bit of empathy. Instead, you get a lecture on how you could have handled the meeting better, how your stress is affecting your demeanor, and how perhaps you should meditate more like they do. The emotional toll is akin to running a marathon with ankle weights, except you didn't sign up for the race. Let's speak on the comedy of blamelessness. The perfect person's life is a comedy of blamelessness. No matter what happens, they're never at fault. If they missed a deadline, it's because you didn't remind them. If they snapped at you, it's because you provoked them. Their life is a perpetual game of dodgeball, where they're the reigning champion of avoiding responsibility. It's almost impressive how they can twist any situation to absolve themselves of guilt. If they were a superhero, their power would be deflection. Oh, you're upset? That's because you're too sensitive, they'll say, while completely ignoring the fact that they were the ones who insulted you. It's a mind-bending exercise in cognitive dissonance. Let's speak on the freedom of distance. Now, let's talk about the liberating feeling of distancing yourself from these individuals. Cutting ties with self-proclaimed paragons of perfections is like shedding a heavy, constricting coat on a sweltering day. Suddenly, you can breathe easier, think clearer, and dare I say, actually enjoy your life. You start to realize that your imperfections are what make you human, and that's perfectly okay. You surround yourself with people who acknowledge their own flaws and appreciate yours, creating an environment of mutual respect and growth. It's like upgrading from toxic wasteland to a thriving garden where everyone's quirks are celebrated, not condemned. In the end, the grand comedy of life, staying away from people who can't see any wrong in their actions, but see everything wrong in yours, is the key to happiness. It's about recognizing that you don't need to subject yourself to constant critique from those who believe they're above it. Embrace the wonderfully flawed individuals who lift you up, support you, and laugh with you at the absurdity of it all. So, here's to avoiding the perfect people and finding solace in the perfectly imperfect ones. May your life be filled with laughter, growth, and the kind of relationships that make the journey worthwhile. Cheers to the cosmic joke that is perfection and embracing our beautifully human selves. Thank you for listening to Who Threw the Curve. Don't forget to like us, share us, and subscribe. Thanks.